Assalamu alaikum. So the lesson today is about multiplication. We are going to define what is multiplication and learn the key which make us multiply the way that we multiply now. But before I start multiplication, suppose I have a plus a plus a plus a plus a. How many a I have here? I have 5. So I'm going to put I have 5a. But if I have 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2, how many do I have here? I have 5 too. But look at here. If someone doesn't see this addition, he's going to think this is 52. So in order for me to express my 5-2 the way that another person who read it will understand it, I need to put a dot, which is a multiplication dot. So which means this is 5 times 2. Why we didn't do it here? Because a is an abstract number. It's a variable. I have 5 of the variable, 5a. So I don't have to put the a. I don't have to put the dot because it means the same thing. So we put the dot only when we have number, but when we have variable, we don't put the dot, but you assume it's a multiplication. So that's the difference between this notation and this notation. So if you see 5x, 5a, 5b, that means it's 5 times b, 5 times x, or 5 times a. But the main idea here is like, look, from addition, it's become multiplication. It's like we do in a short notation of a long addition. And look here, I can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That means this is 5 of 2. That means 5 twos. This is 5a. So if you see it this way, that means you understand that multiplication is not as people think. In fact, multiplication is just an addition, or in other words, is just a short way how to. It's like short notation of a long addition. It's like a short notation of a long addition. So it's exactly what is multiplication. So here I can count how many addend I have. This means it's countable. So I can count the number of addend I have. And those addend, you see, they are what? Identical. I don't have like 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 3. And I say, okay, you know what? I have 5 twos. No, they must be identical. You see, the addend are identical and they are countable. You see, the first thing, they are countable and they are identical. So then I can change from this notation, which is the long addition, to a short notation, which is become multiplication. So it's exactly what is multiplication. So let's define the multiplication in a mathematical way. So let's do definition, and I will tell you the name of the terms of the definition. So of the multiplication is a process of finding a quantity This quantity is called product by. So how we find out this quantity? You see here, if I add all of this, I will get 10. So if I multiply 5 times 2, I will get 10. So this is my product. So how did I get the product? Is by what? By adding a countable number of identical addend. You see, is a countable number of identical addend, because all of them are the addend. If you see the lesson about addition, so the terms of the addition are called addend, and this is a countable addend. So by adding a countable number, so that countable number, which means that 5, because it is the number I count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, is called multiplier, called multiplier. So by adding a countable number of items, duplicate. Always use, so we use the 3 times 3 dot or that symbol. I have multiplier, which is the number of identical, times multiplier, which is the so in other words, a plus a plus a, a times in k times multiplier and quantity. And you can tell me, okay, what is the product? You see, both of them, all of this is going to give a product. Let me give you an example. Suppose I have 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8. If I add this 8, I have 16, 24, 32, 40. Now, if I want to do it in reduced notation, in short notation, so how many 8 I have? I have 5 of 8, and we know that 5 of 8 is 40. You see, this is my multiplier. This is my multiplicand. And this is my product. The same thing, not only for number, the same thing, for example, if I have x plus 3 plus x plus 3 plus x plus 3 plus x plus 3. You see how many x plus 3 I have? I have 4 x plus 3. You see? 1, 2, 3, 4. Is it identical quantity? Yes, identical quantity. So I have 4x plus 3. Did you see the idea? So this is the idea of multiplication. In fact, is just a short notation of an addition. So I want to put this as a note because it's a remark that you should keep always in mind, that multiplication is just a short notation for adding. It's exactly table. So this is the way we table. 0 times 4. How many 4? 0, 4. You see, I have nothing. 0, 4. So this means it's what? It's just 0. So if I say 1 times 4, how many 4 I have? I have only one 4. I just put one 4. 2 times 4, how many 4 I have? I have two 4s. That means I have 4 plus 4, which is what? 8. 3 times 4, how many 4 I have? I have 3 4 plus 4 plus 4, which is, if I add them, is going to get 12. 4 times 4, how many 4 I have? I have 4 4s. It's going to be 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4. If I add all of them, I will get 16. And this is exactly how the multiplication table was created, is doing that idea of uh, countable identical adding. So it will give us the multiplication, and this is where to create the multiplication table of 5, 2, and so on. So that's the idea of the multiplication. Some book they use instead of use multiplier multiplicand, they call factor. Yes, they call factor because if we have more than three number, for example, if I have 2 times 3 times 4, you see here I cannot say multiplier multiplicand. So because I have three terms, so what we call those, we call them factor. All of them are called factor. So but why, if we have two number like 3 times 4, we still call them factors? In fact, we still call them factor because we always have one in front of them or after them. That means behind the scene there's always three. We always one times a number. This is what we always called instead multiplier multiplicand for two number factor, because of that one. So this is the idea. So you can call them from now on factor if you want, or you can call multiplier multiplicand if you want. It's mean the same thing. So that's the first note I want you to know. The second note I want you to know is any number times 0 is always 0. Why? If I have 0 times a number, here I have 0, 4. 0, 4, that means I have 0, 4, I have nothing. If I have 4 times 0, what does mean? I have 4 zeros. That means I have 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0, which is what? Which is 0. So if I have a number times 0 is 0, or 0 times number is always 0. So keep in mind, in both sides is always 0. The second note I want you to have is if I have 1 times 4, how many 4 I have? I have only one 4, so it's going to be just 4. But if I have 4 times 1, so how many 1 I have? I have 4 1, so it's going to be 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1, which is again what? 4. As you see here, if I have a number times 1 is the number itself, and if I have 1 times a number is just the number itself. 2 times 1 is 2, 1 times 2 is 2. So keep in mind those property. And now I want to talk about the most important property, which is the key of the way we multiply now. This is the key of the way we multiply now. So this property is called distributive property. So what's the idea behind distributive property? So the idea is the following. If I have, for example, a plus 4 plus a plus 4 plus a plus 4. So how many a plus 4 I have? 1, 2, 3. So it's going to be 3a plus 4. So how can I add this? And you know by addition, we add similar quantities. A plus a plus a are those similar quantity. How many I have? I have 3a. 4 plus 4 plus 4 is 12. And if I want to do it in terms of multiplication is 3a plus 3, 4. So instead to use the addition by expanding, if they give me 3, you give me this notation 3 times a number, and instead to use the expand notation by adding 3 numbers, and I add them, what we do, we just multiply 3 times a, and I multiply 3 times 4. And this is exactly what we got here when we add those identical add-on. So what's the idea behind the distributive property is for any number, for any number a, b, c, if I have a times b plus c, is what we do, we just multiply a by b and a by c. So it's going to be a times b plus a times c. You know, first grade and even second grade by if an earliest age and you did distribution property, we don't even know it. So distributive property uh, work in the multiplication now. Suppose I want to multiply, for example, 25 times 3. So if I want to do the expanded property, and as you know that 25 times 3 is the same thing as 3 times 25, is the same idea. There is no difference. Here I have to add 3 25 times. Here I have to add 25 3 times. But it's the same result. So here I have 3 times 25, which is same thing as 25 plus 25 plus 25. If I add those, I will end up having 75. So how the distributive property will work here. So look at this. Here is 3 times 20 plus 5. So what I do here, I times 3 by 20 and 3 by 5. So here it's going to be 60 plus 15, which is going to give me 75. So in the second and third grade, how did you learn it? So you did 25 times 3. Then look what you did here. You let me do this vertically. 20 plus 5 times 3. You multiply 3 by 5. So I multiply 3 by 5. So it's going to give me what? 15. This is addition. Then you multiply 3 by 20, which is 60. The same thing here. You multiply 3 by 5. You put 5 here and you carry 1. Why? Because you have 1/10. This is the ones. I'm going to put only the ones under the ones. The tens is going to be put on the next level. So 3 times 2 is 60. And the 1 is 3 times 20 is 60, and the one which is 1/10 is going to be 70. But here we have 3 times 2 is 6, and the 1 is 7. That means I have 3 times 2 tenths is 6 tenths, plus 1 tenth is 7 tenths. So that's the idea. As you see here, what did I did? I just used the distributive property. I multiply 3 by 5, and I multiply 3 by 20. And it's exactly what we do here. We just use the distributive property. And the same thing work even if I have double number. For example, if I have 32 times 12. Here I can use this distributive property. Do I start from right or left? It does not matter. So this is the distributive property. It doesn't have where to start, from left or right. It doesn't matter. So keep in mind that when you start from the tens, the answer starts from the tens. If you start from the ones, the answer starts from the ones. So that's the key. So if I want to start from the tens, so here 1 times 2 is 2. So this is the tens. I will start answer from the tens. And 1 times 3 is 3. This is the ones. 2 times 2 is 4. So I'm going to start from the ones. And 2 times 3 is 6. So I'm going to put it on the tens here. Then after that, what you do? You add. So it's going to be 4. This is 8. This is 3. So from where you multiply, you start your answer. So if I want to do another example, 259 times 314, for example, you say I want to start from the 10. So I want to start from the middle. I don't want to start from the ones. I don't want to start from the 100. You see, when you multiply, you have your choice. Start from whatever you want. Left, right, the ones, the tens, the 100. It's your choice. But keep in mind that where the one that you multiply with is this is where you have to put the answer. You start with the ones, start from the ones. You start with the tens, start from the tens. You start with the 100, start from the 100. You start from the 1,000, start from the 1,000. For example, I want to start from the 100 here. So 3 times 9 is 27. So I'm going to start from here. So I'm going to put the 27 here. So I'm going to put 7 and carry my 2 here. 3 times 5 is 15, and 2 is 17, so it's going to be 7, and I carry 1 here. 3 times 2 is 6, and 1 is 7. Now, I want to do the ones. You see, 4 times, let me erase the remainder here, at least I don't get confused. 4 times 9 is 36. I'm going to start from the ones. You see, 36, carry the 3 here. 4 times 5 is 20, so it's 23. And I carry my 2 here. 4 times 2 is 8 and 2 is 10, so it's going to be 10. Then I want to move to the tens. Then I have 1 times 9 is 9, so it's going to be on the tens. 5, 2. Then what I do next? I add. So here there's nothing, just 6. This is 12. This is 13. This is 11. And this is 8. As you see here, what did I do? Let me show you what I did. Distributive property. This time this, this time this, this time this. Again, this time this, this time this, this time this. I just distribute. I didn't do nothing, just distribute. This time this, this time this, and this time this. That's all. Very simple. You don't have to start from right or left. Just keep in mind when you start from any number, just the answer should be the place value of that number. So put the answer from the place value of that number. I start from the ones, I put the answer on the ones. I start from the tens, I put the answer on the tens. I start from the hundred, I put the answer from the hundred. So this is the key of the multiplication, is just distributive property. So I hope you got the idea behind multiplication, so you understand the definition of multiplication and where multiplication come from. So I hope that you understand what we talked about. And please, if you have any comments about the way I teach, so please, you're welcome to send me any comment that will help me improve my way of teaching. And thank you for watching the video, and Assalamu alaikum.